at the beginning. Before reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, we should first offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Personality of God Narayan, and Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayan, unto Narayana Rishi, the Supreme Human Being, unto Mother Sarasvati, the Goddess of Learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva. Shinvatam Swakata Krishna,
Venkata Krishna,
Shravana Kirtanaha,
Punyam Sankirtanaha,
Riyantasto Hibadrani,
Riyantasto Vadrani,
Vidunoti Savritsatam,
Vidunoti Savritsatam,
Shri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma, super soul in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous and properly are enchanted. Nashta Praeshu Bhadreshu,
Nashta Praeshu Bhadreshu,
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya,
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya,
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke,
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke,
Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki,
Bhaktir Bhagavati Naistaki.
By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service to the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. So I have a reading today from Srimad Bhagavatam. It is Canto 2, Chapter 7, entitled Scheduled Incarnations, and it's verse 40. Vishnor,
Vishnor,
Virya,
Viryam,
Gananam,
Gananam,
so the accent is Gananam,
Gananam,
Katamo,
Katamo,
Vrihatiha,
Vitatiha,
Vishnor, Nuvirya, Ganatam, Katamo, Vrihatiha.
Vishnor.
Let me try again. Vishnor, Nuvirya, Gananam, Katamor, Hati,
Vishnor Virya Gananam Katamo Ratiha.
Katamor, that's one syllable more.
Katamo.
One syllable. That's what Tori screwed up. Ya,
Ya,
Partivani,
Patavani,
Api,
Pati,
Kavir,
Akavir,
Imame,
Imame,
Jamsi,
Rajamsi,
Ya Partivani, Api, Kavir, Vimame, Rajamsi,
Ya Parivani Apikavir Vimane Rajasi.
Shaskamha,
Shasmamba
Ya,
Ya Swa
Rahasaskalata,
Rahasa
Tri,
Tri
Prishtam,
Krishnam
Kaskam, Vayaswa, Rahasaskalata, Tri Prishtam,
Chasam Yasva Rasakala Tati Krishnam
Yasmat,
Yasmat
Tri,
Tri
Samya,
Samyam
Sadanam,
Sadanam Uru
Kampayanam,
Kampayanam
Yasmat Tri Samya Sadanad Uru Kampayanam,
Yasmat Tri Samayat Sadanat Uru Kampayanam
Vishnor Nuvirya Gananam Katamor Hatiha,
Vishnu Nuvirya Nananam Katamorahita
Ya Partivanya Pikavir Vimame Rajamsi,
Ya Parivanya Apikavir Vimame Rajasi
Kaskam Vayaswa Rahasas Kalata Triprishtam,
Kastam Yasva Tati Pishtam
Yasmat Tri Samya Sadanad Uru Kampayanam,
Yasmat Visamaya
Vishnor Nuvirya Gananam Katamori, no. Vishnor Nuvirya Gananam Katamor Hatiha,
Vishnu Nuvirya Gananam Katamorahita
Ya Partivani Apikavir Vimame Rajamsi,
Ya Parivani Apikavir Vimame Rajamsi
Kaskam Vayaswa Rahasas Kalata Tripishtam,
Chasam Vayasva Rasaskalata Tishvasham
Yasmat Tri Samya Sadanad Uru Kampayanam,
Yasmat Visamya Sadana Kuru Kampayanam
Vishnor Nuvirya Gananam Katamor Hatiha,
Vishnu Nuvirya Gananam Katamorahita
Ya Partivani Apikavir Vimame Rajamsi,
Ya Parivani Apikavir Vimame Rajamsi
Kaskam Vayaswa Rahasas Kalata Triprishtam,
Kaskam
Yasmat Tri Samya Sadanad Uru Kampayanam,
Yasmat Tri Samya Sadana Guru Kampayanam
Let's chant.
Vishnu Navirya Gananam Katamoratiha Ya Partivani Apikavir Vimame Rajamsi Jaskam Vayasva Rasakalatati Prishtam Yasmatri-samya sadanam urukampayanam Yanam
Vishnurnuvirya gananam katamorhatiha
Vishnurnuvirya gananam katamorhatiha
Yapartivanyati kavirvimame rajamsi
Yagayakimame rajamsi jaskamba. I got 3 lines mixed up, sorry.
Jaskambayasvarahasaskalatat viprishtam
Jaskambayasvarahasaskalatat viprishtam
Yasmatri-samya sadanadurukampayanam
Yasmatri-samya sadanadurukampayanam.
Is that everybody? No more study time. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, word meanings. Vishnu, of Lord Vishnu. Nu, Virya, prowess. Gananam, in the matter of accounting. Katamaha, who else? Arhati, is able to do it. Iha, in this world. Yaha, one who. Partivani, the atoms. Api, also. Kavi, great scientist. Vimane, might have counted. Rajamsi, particles. Kaskambha, could catch. Yaha, one who. Swarahasa, by his own leg. Askalata, without being hampered. Triprishtam, the topmost planetary space. Yasmat, by which. Trisamya, the neutral state of the three modes. Sadanat, up to that place. Urukampayanam, moving very greatly. Who can describe completely, translation purport by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada? So who can describe completely the prowess of Vishnu? Even the scientist who might have counted the particles of the atoms of the universe cannot do so. And then it said, because then there's not a complete sentence, and I think there should be a comma. It should not, because it doesn't work otherwise. Because it is he only who in his form of Trivikrama moved his leg effortlessly beyond the topmost planet Satyaloka up to the neutral state of the three modes of material nature. That's not a complete sentence, so I think it goes with the first sentence. And all were moved. So I'll repeat it. I'll read it again, and you can repeat. Who can describe completely the prowess of Vishnu? Even the scientist who might have counted the particles of the atoms of the universe cannot do so, because it is he only who in his form of Trivikrama moved his leg effortlessly beyond the topmost planet, Satyaloka, up to the neutral state of the three modes of material nature. And all were moved.
But there is, where were you saying that you thought there was?
There's a period after cannot do so, and then because it is he only, it's just a because phrase, the long because phrase, and it doesn't really have.
Here it looks like it's a comma.
Huh?
Here it looks like it's a comma. But no, it's a
They
capital
might have-
B. It's a capital B, so.
It is a capital
B.
So
I think it's just
period.
the editing thing, or something, the typo or editing thing. So, if you turn that into a comma, which it obviously means that, it works. So, okay, so, please repeat. Who can describe completely
Who
Who can describe completely
the prowess of Vishnu?
the powers of Vishnu?
Even the scientist,
Even the scientists
who might have counted the particles of the atoms of the universe.
might have counted the atoms of the
The
universe.
atoms of the universe. cannot do so.
Cannot do so.
Because it is he only
Because it is he only
who in his form of Trivikram
who in his form of Trivikram
moved his leg effortlessly beyond the topmost planet,
moved his leg effortlessly above the topmost planet, Satyaloka,
up to the neutral state
the neutral state,
of the three modes of material nature,
three modes of material nature,
and all were moved.
and all were moved.
And I don't know what that means, all were moved, if that's emotional move or they got bumped. I don't know what that means. Okay, purport. The highest scientific advancement of the material scientists is atomic energy, but the material scientist is not able to have an estimation of the particles of atoms contained in the whole universe. But even if one is able to count such atomic particles, or is able to roll up the sky like one's bedding, even then one is unable to estimate the extent of the prowess and energy of the Supreme Lord. He is known as Trivikram because once, in his incarnation of Vamana, he expanded his leg beyond the highest planetary system, Satyaloka, and reached the neutral state of the modes of nature called the covering of the material world. There are 7 layers of material coverings over the material sky, and the Lord could penetrate even those coverings. With his toe, he made a hole through which the water of the causal ocean filters into the material sky, and the current is known as the sacred Ganges, which purifies the planets of the 3 worlds. In other words, no one is equal to the transcendentally powerful Vishnu. He is omnipotent, and no one is equal to or greater than him. So, Om Gyana Timradasya Gyana Jana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitamyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest of ignorance. My spiritual master opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge, and offer my respectful obeisances unto him. So, immediately what I said was this discussion of the material coverings of the universe and the neutral state of the modes of nature. So we have in existence, in material existence, we have goodness, everybody gets up in these. We have the neutral state of the modes of nature. First there is a pradhana, which is a totally neutral state. It's indescribable, doesn't take up space or anything. It's almost like that singularity the scientists are always trying to invent the idea of, because the ether is space. It's not even differentiated out yet. It's just this pradhana, this undifferentiated, indescribable material energy, which has not been separated into elements yet, which is not separated into the modes yet. First the modes of nature are created in it. That is separated into modes. So the modes, it's not separated exactly, but there are 3 modes that become distinguishable, and then the elements are separated out. And then there are elements that each universe is covered with layers of the elements. There's 8 elements. Sometimes different numbers are given, sometimes 7. But I don't know, I forget for sure. But anyways, each layer is 10 times the layer before it. So if our universe is the first layer the same width as the universe? But anyway, supposing if something is 10 times and is multiplied, say 8 times that way. So what would it be? 10 times to the power of 8 or something like that? Is that how mathematics works? But it becomes huge. Like if you start with a certain, just 10 times that is the next layer. And then 10 times that is the next layer. And then 10 times that. Like I have a Facebook friend who I had a painting I did of Mahavishnu breathing out the universes, and it showed the layers of the elements. Okay, well he complained that it wasn't to scale. Well, I went back and I said, if it did it to scale, there would be no universe visible in paint. Because to fit in the whole, all of the elements that would be on the paper, in the canvas, there would be no space big enough to show the universe, which is at least like 4 billion miles across, or is that 4 billion years old? Anyway, it's obviously very huge. Some debate about the size, and I can't remember what the Vedas say it is right now. I didn't get to look this up or anything. So, anyways, this is like inconceivable. All these layers. on the universe. And we think the universe, well, we grew up thinking that space is infinite, period. And now we understand the space we look at is finite. How it works that way, we don't know. It's finite. There's some end to it somewhere, and we can't see it. And it's so vast. Scientists are measuring light years and all this kind of stuff. Of course, they're measuring it by the red shift theory that when light is coming toward you, it shifts red, and if it's coming a certain distance, you can measure it by the change of light or something like that. So they have all these theories built up, and by these theories, they construct an idea of the size of the universe. And they're all theories. We don't know. They're sitting on planet Earth measuring light waves coming in and doing some math. So we don't really know for sure. But anyways, it's obviously very vast. And it is limited. It has a certain size. And then bigger than that is the first layer, which is Earth. And one source I read, what's that, Bhagavatam, suggested that it seemed to explain that as his soul went up through the different layers, each layer offered temptations of that nature. Earthly temptations would be sense, and earthy kind of thing would offer temptations. You had to go through that. So whether it's actually a layer of like rock or something like that, or whether it's a layer of a kind of experience that tries to hold you in the material world, I don't understand which, because it seems like it says different things. But then after that would be water, and water offers taste, and water temptations are a little different from earthy temptations, a little higher. So it goes like that, but each one is 10 times bigger, and so it ends up huge. And there are millions of universes like this. So right there, we can't measure, we can't imagine, it's inconceivable. And anyway, within this universe, Vamana, the dwarf incarnation, ironically a dwarf incarnation, who asked for who came and begging to this king who would give to the Brahmanas, even though he was in a demonic family, he was a pious person. And his grandfather was Prahlad, was a pure devotee, even in a demon family. So this little dwarf, beautiful dwarf Brahmana comes to him, and he offers to give him. He's a Brahmana, he's begging like Brahmanas are supposed to do. And it's all, according to the religious principles and everything. So he, being a pious person, he offered to give him whatever. So the dwarf says only 3 steps of land. He said, come on, you're inexperienced, you don't know, that's not enough to live on. And I'll give you an island, I'll give you a country, whatever you want. And just 3 steps of land is all I want. So, okay, and his guru advised him. His guru was a guru, but not a devotee guru. He knew spiritual principles, but he didn't want to worship Vishnu. So he warned him, this could be Vishnu, he's going to take everything, don't do it. And so Bali had already made a promise, whatever you say. But I have to do it, it's my principle. No, he's Vishnu, he's going to take everything. You got control of the whole universe now, he's going to take it from you. Don't do it, I'm your guru, I'm telling you, don't do it. So what happened, Bali Maharaj gave him an argument, a really good argument back. I mean respectfully argument, made his case back. That this was important, that he had made a promise, that it doesn't matter if it's Vishnu, that Vishnu is the Lord anyways. And so he kept his promise to the Brahmana and disobeyed his spiritual master. But with polite reasoning, but his spiritual master became angry and cursed him that he would lose everything, something like that. Is that the curse? I don't know, he cursed him somehow. And so Bali Maharaj said, well, I have to do what's right. I'm an honorable man, I made a promise. So he said, okay, take 3 steps of land. So the first step was the whole creation up to Satyaloka. Now to visualize this is impossible because Earth is very tiny, Satyaloka is really high. For his foot to reach up to Satyaloka while standing there in front of the king was really hard to visualize. And I tried to paint it. You have to cheat in your painting, or you can't make them that big. But the Earth would become a particle of dust on his foot somehow. So I don't really understand. Now Vrindavan is part of the spiritual world, but Vrindavan in India is non-different from the spiritual world, and it's connected. It's continuous with the spiritual world. Yet, it's in a certain number of square miles on planet Earth. So time and distance space, size, these things are mysteriously under the control of the Lord. So we don't have to worry about how physically he got that big without crushing the Earth planet, without the planet just disappearing among dust particles or something in his foot. Somehow it worked it out because he's the Lord. He could do it. He could reach beyond that. He could reach through, up to, and through those huge coverings to the causal ocean in which the universe on these coverings is floating. And the causal ocean is like the raw material for creation. And it says here, it's neutral state of the three modes of material nature. So as I was explaining, first there's a pradhana with no qualifications at all, no characteristics at all. So therefore indescribable. Then it gets the three modes of nature. It's still neutral, it still is not. And the elements are in the universes. And they're surrounding the universes and within the universes. So somehow through all those coverings, his toe reached and poked a hole, and in came the causal ocean and became the Ganges. That's what it's saying here. So this is totally inconceivable. How it works size-wise is inconceivable. We can't figure it out. Like how did Arjuna, sitting on the chariot in the Battle of Kurukshetra in a certain geographical place and at a certain time and everything, within a certain time before the war started, how does he see all the warriors going into Lord Vishnu's mouth? How does he see unlimitedly everywhere in creation? How does he see that? How does Mother Yashoda see in Krishna's mouth, little mouth, teeny mouth, all of creation? Time and space and size, these are not limitations for Krishna. Not only does he have unlimited material universes that he's in charge of, and he's within every atom in every one of those universes, all uncountable. Not unlimited material universes, but to us, unlimited. I mean, millions. Then also, he has even more of the Vaikuntha planets and Goloka Vrindavan, and all of this goes on and on. It's unlimited, it's bigger than the universes. And yet, he's there. And these things are not problems for him. For there to be a place on earth that is not different from a place in the heavenly planets where he had pastimes, which happens, like Lord Nrsimhadev appeared. There's a place on earth where he appeared. Well, he also appeared in the heavenly planets. And it was the same pastime. So how they're not limited. This time and place thing is not limited. It can be connected in ways that we can't understand by our limitations. So this is all very, very fascinating and mysterious. He's unlimited. So, let's see. What else can we say about this? And then the Ganges waters comes, it's just water, right? But it's water from the causal ocean, and it purifies the planets of the three worlds. So, and it can purify your sins. How can it purify your sins? These are all mysterious things, but they're in the scriptures so that we can know them. So, in other words, no one is equal to the transcendently powerful Vishnu. He is omnipotent, and no one is equal to or greater than him. So we grew up thinking we knew the word omnipotent, we knew the word unlimited, we knew the word infinite, but we had finite ideas of all these things. We just could, what we could picture. It's way beyond what we can picture. So this is quite fascinating. And I think I just came to the end of what I can say about it, because I'm limited. Any comments or questions or additions? Any questions? Comments? Anything more that needs to be said? Okay, my husband doesn't have his hand up. Okay. Okay, class is done early. I think it's 8:15, a little bit. Thank you all very much. All goes to Srimad Bhagavatam, and all goes to Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you.